Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and welcome back to Business as Unusual, practical motivation during uncertain times. Today's topic is transforming negativity into opportunity. But before we get into that, I want to take a few moments now to wish all my fellow Sri Lankans a very happy and prosperous new year. And I hope that the rest of the year for you turns out much more amazing than everything else in the Gregorian calendar that we've been through these last few months. So all the best all the way. And I really hope that you stay focused and stay inspired and just do amazing things with this opportunity that we call life. All right, back to the video. Okay, so negativity. We all know how it makes us feel, but what exactly is negativity? Well, it's a subset of two things. One, criticism, the expression of criticism, or two, the expression of pessimism. I want to deal with criticism first, and then we'll get to pessimism in a second because that's an interesting topic. So, criticism. We all know that criticism's hard to take, mainly because a lot of people who criticize don't do it constructively. Okay, so it just comes about as just a whole bunch of negativity, and of course that just really messes with your head, and you feel upset, you feel low, and you feel like, well, why am I doing this in the first place? So in order to handle that, you just really sort of need to think about how useful is this criticism? Is it valid? Take your ego out of it and really understand, well, okay, is there something here? And if there is, then yes, take it on board, use it to make it better. But if it isn't, punch it in the kidneys and move on. Okay. Pessimism. Pessimism is really interesting. So pessimism is really about, those people that are so negative and pessimistic about everything, and the funny thing is, we're not born pessimistic. It's actually learned behavior. And when you think about it in those terms, you start to understand, well, how does a person become pessimistic? It's because throughout their lives, they've had a series of events that have let them down, pretty much. And because we value psychological safety as humans, we've built up that level of, that kind of like a wall around us to prevent us from getting hurt. And that's why when you're pessimistic, you roll out through life in a very certain way, but it protects you from being hurt. And when you look at it through those lenses, you start to see, okay, that's interesting. I understand that. And okay, that's nothing to do with me. That's more on the other person. So the big question is, how do you take pessimism and criticism and convert it into opportunity? Well, as I said before, criticism's easy to convert into opportunity. You either take it on board if you think it's valid, or if the person giving it to you has some sort of usefulness about them, their feedback. Okay, you take it on board, use it to make you better, and if it isn't, you just disregard it and go do your thing. Okay, pessimism. How do you convert pessimism into opportunity? Well, you really have to look at it in terms of a relationship of trust. Here's this person that has been let down consistently, and now they're very pessimistic about the world around them. So in order to work with that person and build up a relationship with them, you need to focus on trust over time. And so let's say if something so simple is that you make a promise and you keep it. So yes, I will be at that meeting, and you actually turn up to that meeting. Okay, they might not go, wow, here's a person who just made a promise and keeps it. Wow, that's amazing. I'm gonna rely on that person. No, remember, they've had a series of important events throughout their life that have made them this way. So as a result, you might need to work over time and show up multiple times, keeping your promises to them, and they'll change. And of course, I believe they'll change because I have to share this quick story. One of my cousins, we grew up together in Sri Lanka, and I was born in Australia, but he was born in Sri Lanka. But every year as a kid, we used to go there and spend time with him, and it was just the most playful, adventurous, crazy times, and he is truly like a brother to me, and I love him to death. So what's interesting is now we're both a little bit older in life, and I'm still that kid, and he's become very pessimistic, right? So whenever I go to visit him these days in Sri Lanka, his wife loves it because when I'm there, he hangs around with me, and I drill that negativity out of him, and he just transforms into a different person. He's more playful, he's more creative, he's just happier. And that's really the opportunity here for all of us, to how to convert negativity into opportunity. And I want to close off this conversation with you by sharing a little bit of my story from Nothing is Impossible. That's the one where I wanted to go overseas and do this keynote. So let me close this and sum all these concepts down between criticism and pessimism, and hopefully tie it all up for you in a nice little package where you can use it and do amazing things. So here's the story. So in 2016, I wanted to go to Sri Lanka and do a speaking tour, except I had no contacts there. But what I did have was certain cousins who are very well connected, like unbelievably connected. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, listen, I want to do the speaking tour in Sri Lanka. Could you introduce me to anyone in your network, or could you introduce me to some of your clients or people that you know that might be able to, facilitate this for me? And they all said one of the same, different ways of the same thing. No, right? They all said things like, listen, you're still small. When you get older, maybe you come back later and people will pay attention to you. Or, listen, AJ, you're from Australia. No one can understand your accent. Even I am struggling to understand your accent. So no one's going to listen to you, okay? And then there's my all-time favorite. Listen, Sri Lanka is very different to Australia. So why don't you come here, get a small job, and then in 5 or 6 years' time, maybe you can do a gig. Far out. I don't play small, right? So that was basically criticism and borderline pessimistic as well, because they're very, very set in their ways over there. So, I chose to reject that because it wasn't of value to me, and I could see things differently to the world with my entrepreneurial perspective. So I did what I've always done. I ran my own race. I shot a video, stuck it on YouTube, sent it out on Twitter, and within 48 hours, I booked a gig at the American Embassy in Colombo. And so I go there, and they're very excited to see me, and I'm excited to see them. And one of the managers there say, AJ, small problem. I said, what? He goes, listen, the room only holds 50 people. I said, well, what's the problem with that? We've got 150 registrations. I was like, all right, we'll make it work, man. We'll make it work. So 100 people come in, and it's exciting. So I'm about to go on stage, right, deliver this presentation to Sri Lanka, my first ever corporate presentation, and I'm so excited. And then I get this tap on the shoulder right before I'm about to go on stage, and it's the organizer. Lovely guy, but this is what he says to me right before I'm about to go on stage. Listen, AJ, just a bit of advice. Listen, our people are very different to your Aussies. They don't smile, they won't laugh, they don't clap. I've seen some of your videos, so don't expect any of that from our people. We are very different, okay? Okay, good luck. So that was helpful pep talk right before I'm about to go on stage. So again, criticism, pessimism. Is it useful to me? No, because I have this different belief, different perspective. So I went and did my thing, and at the end of my gig, we took this photo, and you will see there's so many people smiling, happy, laughing, they're all making faces, and it just goes to show that nothing is impossible when you really believe in something and you work hard to achieve it. And so I hope this story and I hope this content about how to convert negativity into opportunity helps you well, because negativity, it isn't going to go away. It's part of human behavior, and you have to work out how to navigate it. All right, entrepreneurs, that's me done. My name is AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Go forth and turn negativity into opportunity. Take care.